All right, let's get into more stock specifics now and how small cap firms fare in terms of international exposure. John Athanasiou from Red Leaf Securities joins us. John, good to see you.
Hey Andrew, how you been?
Very well. All right, let's first start with the broader small caps market. I was just talking to you off air, saying how bad has it been recently in historical comparison? I mean, how bad is this market at the moment?
This is as bad as GFC. It's the worst market I've ever seen in the small cap space. Obviously, there are pockets of excitement. Lithium. I mean, a $100 million raise happened today from a company that was nothing over a year ago. So there's only a little bit of pockets of excitement, but it's been very difficult out there, particularly companies that are not profitable or don't have a clear pathway to profitability and need funds.
What's it going to take for that to turn?
The big change is what we're seeing right now, and we are seeing a little bit of confidence entering into the market because I think there's a growing consensus out there that we've reached the top of the rate hike cycle, and in light of that, there'll be people have money in their pockets to invest again.
So are you already seeing that where people are sniffing around, yet to actually commit, but obviously looking for that opportunity?
They're looking for opportunities. The bargain hunters are out there, but they are lacking a little bit of conviction. Their confidence has been battered, particularly in the small cap space. But we see that slowly changing, and I think we all agree that we've hit the top of the rate hike cycle, which is very positive for equities in general, and particularly small caps.
Yeah, I mean, you just mentioned you're seeing a bit of movement, obviously, there in the lithium space, which we just sort of had some news on. Yeah. But what sectors are you expecting to move first?
Well, in our opinion, you look at large cap techs, you've seen what the NASDAQ has done, and you compare that to the small cap tech space. We think by a significant margin, the small cap tech sector will outperform in 2024.
All right. Okay. Well, fingers crossed, because it's about time it changed, isn't it? All right. So, John, as mentioned there, you're sort of taking a look at those companies maybe that have international exposure, which appear to be maybe few and far between, particularly Australian listed ones. What have you come up with?
We've come up with, and we've actually wrote a research report about this particular company. It's called Findi. The ticker is FND. It's making an EBITDA of 25 million and has a market cap of 25 million, would you believe? It's an extraordinary story. Now, what Findi does is they're a payment solution provider and an ATM service in India.
And I gather it's recently just signed a contract with the State Bank of India.
Correct.
10-year contract to provide ATMs.
Correct. And we're valuing, if you see our research report, we've discussed that particular contract. We see the valuation, we have a speculative buy on Findi at $3.61. We think the value of the ATMs alone is worth 400 mil. The market cap's 25. Now, the reason why, in our opinion, it's so undervalued is, I think the perception in Australia is ATMs is boring, not sexy. People don't appreciate that India has a big growing cash economy there. And thirdly, on top of that, Findi also has a digital payment side to its business, not just purely ATMs. So you're getting the opportunity to invest in the fastest growing economy in the world back in 2022, probably the fastest growing economy by the end of this year, and have exposure to the existing cash economy and the growing digital economy in India.
Yeah, because my question was with ATMs, naturally in Australia, it's going in the opposite direction. We're seeing the number of ATMs actually shrink, but you're saying the opposite applies in India. That cash economy is growing.
Well, it's growing. There's like 1 billion Indians, so it's a big difference to our population of 20 odd mil.
Right. Are we likely to see more contracts in the pipeline then for Findi?
Oh, absolutely. Like the way they're heading, we anticipate them to get at least 10% of the ATM market. So right now, they're about 7 to 8% of the ATM market. There's 250,000 odd ATMs in India, so we see that growing.
Do they have a presence anywhere else?
No, they're purely focused in India.
All right. And as you say, not just about ATMs, but they're sort of diversified just in terms of digital payments too.
Correct.
All right.
As the Indian economy is growing, as people moving out of the poverty gap and moving up to the middle class status, they'll start using digital payments.
All right. And now I see you note that this is the only ASX listed company that has direct exposure to India.
That's right.
Which is quite extraordinary.
It is.
Because you look at the potential growth in India.
It's the only one, and that's why it's such a great opportunity in our opinion for all those investors out there to get direct exposure. All right, you could buy an Indian ATF, you could buy a coal company that exports to India, but you're not buying anything that's really direct.
All right, how are you looking at the valuation of the company at the moment?
Well, right now, as I mentioned, we're valuing it at $3.61, so you know that's pretty high because it's currently trading close to 80 cents the last I looked before I got here. So there's plenty of upside. I think eventually the market will realise the opportunity and forget about all the skepticism they have about this particular company.
How's its balance sheet looking? I mean, how's it going to fund this expansion in India?
Well, right now with their cash flows, they'll be able to fund it as we speak.
All right. Okay. Well, John, thanks for drawing our attention to that. We're always interested, particularly, I guess the focus in Australia is very much China, but India obviously seen as the next big market.
Well, it's a big market, and there's also other opportunities like in cyber security. We're looking at Excite. That's another to keep your eye on.